What's up, guys? Belt MMA here with the final of the absolute blue belt here. I admittedly kind of gave this away by taking the bottom position, and you see here the ref always just gave people other points. Here you see I end up switching and then getting the top position, and this guy still gets the advantage. And I wasn't totally sure how he was getting the advantage here. I have two hands inside. He doesn't have the triangle, and he got, I believe, 3 advantage points here. But again, this was definitely a learning experience, and he was very strong. Like, he closed his legs, and I was working to get out, and I didn't want to just power out because I wanted to kind of preserve some energy. But here he's just holding it. I'm okay. But it was like he was very strong, and by this point, again, I'd had 3 full rounds, and then another 3 fights in the previous division. And I'm not making any excuses. He was very skilled, and I had watched some of his matches in his division and in the previous rounds in Absolute, and he was finishing guys. So I did definitely give him the respect that he deserved here. I'm just kind of biding his time out to when I know his legs are going to start to get tired, and he was committed to trying to close down that triangle. But he never really had it. I wasn't ever in any real danger. So for me here, I just kind of waited it out, and then the ref reset us. So as a reset here, again, I've been doing it the whole match. I'm working on Sao Paulo passing. So as I work to start to pass, I think I end up getting called for stalling at some point. So here, he's just trying to keep me in his guard, and I'm working on trying to get out. And when it comes to stalling, if the person's just keeping you in their guard and you're trying to work out, so me, I'm actively moving, trying to get out, trying to open his legs here. I should have gotten to a position where I pull off a similar move to where once he opens his leg, I just kind of come out. Here I could have just come up and then committed to just trying to pass his guard, but I didn't do that. And so from here, again, I was actively seeking an opportunity to get out, and he wasn't really doing much of anything. But I think the referee ends up calling me for stalling, and I was a little bit curious as to why I was called for stalling and not the other guy. So from here, I'm still being active, trying to work my way out. I'm using the Sao Paulo pass, trying to get out, and he's just trying to keep me in his guard. But there wasn't really anything he was doing other than closing his guard here. And again, he had very strong legs. I think this guy was from South Korea, I believe. He had very strong legs. He kept me in his guard, and again, you see me working to try to get out, and he kept me in there. I would say in terms of based on the size versus strength aspect of it, he was probably one of the strongest guys I faced because he was much smaller. I think he was a lightweight or maybe even smaller, but he definitely made sure I wasn't any opportunity I had to get out, he wasn't giving that up. And for me, my focus was really just on not giving up any sweeps, which is why I didn't kind of try to come up. So here you see I'm dropping the hips down, and then I'm just focusing on trying to come out. And I should have used that opportunity right there where he opens legs to just come up. So for me, I think the next thing I start to do is once I realize that I'm having trouble getting out from this position, was to see if I can just get his hands occupied here, so that I could either attempt to choke or try to get out. And we really spent the brunt of our match here. So here you see I go crossface, and I'm trying to choke as an opportunity to kind of force him to make a mistake so I can try to get out of it. Again, I was going for another Ezekiel choke. So here you see he was then tries to go for a sweep, and I try to use that as a chance to kind of come up, but he just closes down the guard again. So now the ref calls him for stalling, and then I get an advantage, which I think should have happened the first time because he was clearly kind of stalling in the first instance. So for me, I just focus on trying to get out. So I think it's like 2 advantages to 3 with 1 penalty each. So if I had done something here that would have got like maybe come up and try to pass or got out of his guard, I would have been in a position where we would either been tied or I could have won the match. But it wasn't really anything he did that I was really worried about. And I think my bigger issue was that I played the match a little safe. So for me, just trying to come out was the biggest thing. And again, I think if I had just been able to come out, I would have won the match. And I kind of played it the wrong way, but you learn from things like this. And it was definitely a fun experience, and I had fun, and I wasn't sad about losing. I'm a competitive guy, but I can also kind of admit my faults in this situation. And it was again a very strong competitor. I watched some of his matches, and literally, I believe he finished everyone else. So for me, we're trying to work out and making sure I wasn't getting submitted by this little guy, but two, that I was gonna win the match was definitely in my mind, and maybe I played it a little bit wrong for myself here. So here again, the ref, I believe, calls me for stalling. And then the guy, I think he goes to just try to attempt something. One thing I did notice is in terms of competition etiquette, he knew what to do. So he would try to do stuff to make it look like he was getting a submission or something like that. And so I guess the ref would just give him advantages and things of that nature. But here you see I get a penalty, another penalty for stalling, and he gets an advantage. So as we go here, now I'm really focusing on trying to get out or trying to get some kind of submission or something, because I know I don't have a lot of time left. And then here, the round ends, and then I end up taking the loss. And I think, yeah, here I just kind of pick him up because he ends up winning the absolute championship, and then we end up ending the match there. So thank you guys again for watching. If you like what you saw, please subscribe. Thanks.